away. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to fall, I'll be there for you. Like a big rainbow, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too.
So, Ed, what can you really say except it's another monkey film? Well, okay, not just any monkey film, for it's also an animal sports film. There often comes a film which follows the character and his pet formula, but also includes a sport that usually results in the character becoming number one in it. Of course, the lesson of growing up comes from the fact that the pet is also good at the sport, to the point where it defies all sorts of logic. It's a silly idea, but I don't see the harm in it. They're mostly family films, so at least it should try to be entertaining for the whole family. But does this one? Well, yeah, let's just start it. The movie opens up at a baseball tryout, where we see our main character Jack Cooper, played by Matt LeBlanc, who you might know as Joey from Friends. He's here to put that rocket arm to use.
Holy torpedo, Batman! I think we got a rocket arm!
Hell of an arm. You ever play pro ball?
Nope.
Semi-pro?
Nope.
College?
Kid, did anyone ever see you pitch?
My mom.
Let's sign him up anyway! We see that Jack is a farm boy, and suddenly I feel like this is going to turn into the water boy.
So, no advice?
Work hard, son.
Dad.
Jack. Have fun.
Dad, it's baseball. How could I not have fun?
And that's the moral of this movie, having fun with what you do. Of course, as we soon see, he's more concerned about not choking when facing up against the other team. Suddenly I wonder who would win between the Angels and the Devils.
The hell you looking at, Taco?
Oh, and I almost forgot. This movie likes to use cartoon sound effects way too much. I'm mean. This is Lydia, played by Jane Brooke. She's our obligatory love interest, who for someone meant to support Jack, really doesn't have a lot of time in this movie. But this wouldn't be a comedy without the money-grubbing moron, that being Kirby, played by Patrick Kerr. You can tell he's greedy from the voice and hair.
What the hell is this?
Innovation, Chubb. Dad bought him from the estate of a Mr. Mickey Mantle. It'll put butts in the bleachers, and that, my friend, is money in the bank.
Come on, you're not serious, are you?
Look at me, Chubb. Chubb, do I look like I'm joking?
I'm getting a little tired of this yakety yak. So we all know where this is going. Chubb, played by the late Jack Warden, is sending Jack out to pick up their latest innovation, and we know by this point that it's going to be our title character. So let's have it.
Hey, buddy, wake up. Hey! What a glove.
Jump scare!
It's hideous!
Oh, that's not very nice. It's just a monkey.
Yeah, that's no monkey. That's a man in a monkey suit. You mean to tell me we're going to be stuck with this thing throughout the entire movie? And naturally, we need to have our first comedic encounter with the two.
Back. In the back. In the back. Get in the back. Open the door. You stupid monkey!
Well, anyway, he's taken to meet the rest of the team, including Tipton, played by Bill Cobbs, and Randall, the obvious numbskull.
Curious George, cool. I have read all your books.
And now for typical humor on the boss with no hair.
I'm just fine. Nice monkey, okay. Hey, wait, easy. Uh-oh, it's not a toy. That is private property.
Stop that. You give the nice man back his hair.
Do anything on a ride over?
What do you expect? He's an animal, Chubb. It's not like he plays ball or anything.
Okay, but don't tell that to Air Bud.
Cool.
the I could have lost a finger. Seriously though, I don't think a chimpanzee could be that powerful. At least I don't think flames would come out. So Chub, in an attempt to get Jack to learn the meaning of fun, decides to rig his way into getting Jack to take care of Ed. They'll be living in an apartment just above Lydia and her daughter Liz, and as you can tell, Liz wants him to go out with her mother, but he's too much of an all work and no playboy that he declines. Besides, why build on their relationship when you can have comedy gold like this?
What's the matter with you? Oh, okay, all right, come on. Outside. No, not my bathroom. Get out of there.
Don't you do it.
Oh, bad monkey, bad.
Because every movie like this needs toilet humor. I mean, what can you possibly top this with?
I'm gonna spank that monkey.
We finally get a semi-normal scene which allows Jack and Ed to bond, even if it's for a short moment, before cutting to the next game where, as usual, he's gonna choke.
Whoa! That ball is history!
This also gives us Barnett, who I think is our rival character. Well, he really doesn't do a lot in this movie except troll. Once we get away from the riffraff, we see the only two seemingly likable characters try to figure out what kind of future Jack has.
Let's start with a real easy one, huh? Barnett.
Hitch. Looks like you'll be in the majors someday.
Cooper.
Huh. Haven't seen that happen since Mouse Hunt. And when it did...
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes.
And now enjoy a very special episode of Joey, where he and his new roommate share in some hilarity.
All right. You wanna play hardball, huh, Ed?
At this point I need to ask, just what is the story of Ed? Where in Mickey Mantle's closet did he come out of, and why is he able to play baseball? Just why? Most animals tend to have sad backgrounds to them to make us feel sorry for them. It makes relationships with the main character more believable because they too suffer from some sort of problem, and the point of these movies is to show how they overcome them. But pretty much, Ed has been nothing more than a crazy monkey who only ends up helping Jack out without really gaining anything of his own. At least in Air Bud, Buddy gained a better home and a friend through interacting with his partner. Here, it's like a hotshot moved into this guy's house and gains a friend in the process. Where's the engagement in that? So we continue the hilarity with another choke moment.
I got it. Anderson's under it, and
So Chub decides to send Ed out, and we get that cliche ruling on how it's okay for the animal to play because it doesn't say in the rules that he can't. Of course, it's given by Richard Gant.
Baseball is America's game. Every American, regardless of race, creed, color, species, body hair, brain size, has the right to play the game. Take your position, son.
Old America.
Well, you might as well hit the I win button, because with the monkey in, they're pretty much invincible.
First unassisted triple play I ever seen, Chubb.
Oh, and get this. His strike zone is so small that there's no way a pro pitcher can make it. I swear, if we do end up living among anthros one day, they need to come up with better rules. Ugh, and they just went with Money Eyes. It's bad enough when you had the cartoon sound effects, but now you want cartoon Money Eyes? So yeah, they pretty much start kicking ass with Ed being their star player, and it gets to the point where he's a celebrity getting the limelight on magazines. This is no longer a guy and his monkey. This is comedic monkey playing baseball and getting famous. So it seems like someone's going to be cut, and rather than it being Jack, who by this point is just holding everyone back, it's instead Dizzy Anderson. The one guy who you think would be a supporting character to Jack, but really he had only like 2 other scenes outside of this one. No, Chubb is still waiting for the magic coin to pick a side. There's a short scene involving Barnett being a dick, but otherwise this was just to set up this. Oh goody, they're sharing the toilet together. It's nice they're finally being friends, but can we please cut down on the unsettling humor? It's disturbing!
Oh, yeah. I hear you.
And that's just gross. And now for something you would never hear from your child in the 90s.
Are you gay?
What?
It'd be okay, no biggie.
That just ruined whatever the hell you had to say next. Pretty much, she wants Jack to date her mother, who so far had only 2 scenes in this movie, and none really contributing to anything. But Jack can't because he has priorities, like pitching the curveball that everybody hits.
I just canceled practice.
Well, I heard you, but I gotta work out.
I'm going to tell you something I never told another ball player in my whole life. Lighten the hell up.
Thank you! I'm sure the audience was thinking the same thing.
It's called a ball game. It involves a ball, and it's a game. It's supposed to be fun.
Which begs another question. Why does Jack have to play like he's freaking serious about it? He's like a lot of reviewers, so serious and yet never having any fun. So taking Chubb's advice, he finally decides to ask Lydia out. With the help of Liz and Ed, of course.
So, how are you doing?
I would say bring out the romance, but considering how little she actually did anything in this movie, I can't say this was worth waiting for. Besides, the movie would rather focus on the late-night comedy duo act.
Up for some ice cream, Ed? We've got lots.
Ugh. Even when they present you with a chance to see character development with someone with little screen time, they shove it off for more comedy. Right, so we see Jack with Lydia and, god damn it again, stick with one scene already. Ah, screw it. Loki, if you please. Okay, so finally they share a moment together. Once again, I need to ask, why? She barely did anything for you. All she ever did was take care of her daughter with a diner job that we only saw once. And rather than build on that, we get more cheap comedy.
Take out the papers and the trash. Or you don't get those printing cash. If you don't scrub that kitchen curb, you ain't gonna rock and roll no more.
Don't talk that.
Edward.
Oh, hey, Kirby. I forgot you were in this movie.
In the big leagues, where he'd just be another great player earning mere millions. The best thing is, he's an animal, right? Now, what's he gonna do? Renegotiate his contract?
Yeah, keep acting like a schmuck. We'll just watch your star player instant win another game for you. What's this? Something bad is going to happen? This late, I might add?
Where are they taking Ed?
Ed's just earned me an enormous amount of money. Do good in the championship game, and you'll be worth a lot of money, too.
You traded him?
I sold it!
Of all the idiotic things you could do, you sell your cash cow? Why the hell would you do that? At the rate he was playing, you would make more than what you just earned right now. This, of course, causes Jack to go emo for a while, and it even screws up his already rocky relationship.
He sold him. What do you want me to do? Steal him back?
Yeah. There's an idea.
Come on, Lydia, I can't do
When
that.
Jack Cooper is in trouble, you work twice as hard. When it's anyone else, it's just too much trouble.
That's not true,
That's
you
great,
know.
Jack. If Liz ever gets kidnapped, remind me not to go after her. It's just too much trouble. If your best friend can't count on you, who can?
So with that, he decides to go get his friend back, who Kirby sold to another team for mascot duty? Are you freaking kidding me? It'd make some sense if you sold Ed to be a player for another team, as I'm sure they'd pay big time for a cash cow player like him. But you sold him so they can use him for a mascot? You have to be the biggest greedy idiot on this entire planet if you're that stupid enough to do such a thing! Also, I think running electricity on that cage would kill Ed, given how it's all metal. But in any case, it's time for Jack to kick their asses.
Enough!
No, like this. So Ed bends the bars to get out, which I wonder why he didn't do that sooner, as he and Jack escape. Rather than go to the truck as ordered, Ed decides to hitch a ride in the back of an ice cream truck. And I kid you not, this leads to him getting hypothermia and landing him in the hospital. Yes, this movie is trying to have a sad moment from what started as a joke. At this point, I don't even care. They led themselves into this, and I'm not buying it for one single minute. So through convincing, Jack goes to the game as that's what Ed would have wanted. However, despite an okay start, he starts to choke again. But through the spirit of baseball, I guess, Ed awakens and manages to get to the game to support Jack on.
Jack, what are you doing?
Stopping to smell the roses. You, give me a kiss.
Yeah, this is touching, I'm sure. Just throw the winning ball already so we can get out of this movie. So yeah, he wins the game, he's going to the big leagues, he gets the girl and her daughter, and they all lived happily ever after. I can't believe I'm saying this, but give me Space Chimps back, as this movie is a lot worse than it. It's not like this wouldn't have worked. Any idea, no matter how silly, can be done right when put with good writers. But this movie was not the case. The humor wasn't subtle, nor funny, and oftentimes it was disturbing. The characters lacked any redeeming qualities, and even the best characters don't really add to anything. This whole movie was just a bad attempt at being a family comedy, and while I wouldn't be surprised if somebody liked this movie, I would still need to ask, why? After that headache, I need something to soothe my nerves. Maybe a trip to the market will help me find something that's...
I'm gonna spank that monkey